Psyche Truth. Life, wisdom.
Hi lovies, welcome to your yoga practice. My name is Cindy. This is going to be a really fun flow to get into your hips and to strengthen your core and to tone your thighs. And it's just going to be really fun. So we're going to begin in a child's pose just to become grounded and centered. So press your hands into the mat and begin to walk your knees apart, bringing your hips to your heels. Now take your time here. Don't just plop down into it, but walk your hands forward, press into the mat to send your hips back, and then begin to press your hands forward, lowering your head down to the mat. So once you get down here, take your knees a little wider by pressing your pelvis forward. And then see if you can find even more length in your spine. Touch your forehead to the mat and begin to focus on your breath. So draw your awareness to the sensation of the inhalation filling up your body from back to front and side to side. Imagine your spine and see if you can imagine it growing longer, creating space between each vertebrae, between each inhalation and each exhalation. Walk your fingertips out, and in this space, take a moment to set an intention for your practice, something that's going to give you strength as we work through this hip sequence, this core sequence, something to keep you fired up and motivated. Begin to walk your hands back in towards your feet and take your knees beneath your hips and your wrists beneath your shoulders. Now I want you to create a really flat spine and spread your fingers out really, really wide. So the weight of the hands is going to go towards the index finger and your thumb, and this is how we're going to protect our wrists. Point your toes back behind you and press into the mat. On an inhalation, lower your belly up and send your chest up towards the ceiling. Lower your belly down and send your chest up towards the ceiling. And then tuck your tailbone, and moving from bottom to top, send your tailbone between your thighs, press the mat away, tuck your chin. On your inhalation, lower your belly down and inhale to open your chest up towards the ceiling. And again, exhale, tuck your tailbone between your legs, round your spine, tuck your chin, look back towards your belly button, and inhale, drop your belly, look up towards the ceiling, open your chest. One more time, exhaling, tucking your tailbone, pressing the mat away, find more rounding in your spine, and inhale, drop your belly, look up, and we'll meet in a neutral spine. So you can wiggle your hips side to side here, really feeling your way into your space. Now I want you to find a really stable base in your left hand, so spread wide, and then reach your right arm up in front of your ear. Draw your right shoulder back. Keep your hips centered. Now I want you to take your focus to all those little muscles that are surrounding your belly button, and then reach your left leg up and back behind you, flexing your toes towards your shin. Keep reaching forward as if you're trying to shake somebody's hand, and reaching back with your foot as if you're pressing it against a wall. Take an in-breath. On your exhalation, curl your right elbow in to meet your left knee. Now I want you to think cat pose here. So press into the mat, around your spine, look back. Inhale, extend your right arm forward, left leg back. And exhale once more, curl in. Feel all of your muscles pull up. Inhale, send your right arm out, left leg out. And exhale once more, pull up and in. Take a breath here, and I want you to really hug your left leg in towards your chest. Inhale, send your right arm back, left leg back, and lower down. Go ahead and take a round of cat-cow, looking up, and exhaling, tucking your tailbone. And again, we'll meet at a neutral spine. Extend your left arm up next to your ear, and reach your right leg back behind you. Draw your left shoulder back. Draw your low belly up and in so that you get an even straighter spine. Keep reaching forward, press back, flex your toes. On your next exhale, curl your left elbow into your right knee. Round your spine, look back behind you. Inhale, send your arm out and your leg out. So keep firing up your core. Exhale, curl, hug in, make a fist. Find even more power. Inhale, send leg out, arm out. And exhale, curl in once more. Take a breath here. Really hug your right knee up and in. Good. And exhale, send it out. Inhale. And your exhale lowers both your hands and your knees. And go ahead and take a moment to shake out your wrists, flipping them down towards the mat, fingers pointing behind you. Shake out your hips and place your hands back down. Now we're gonna do something a little different, so listen closely. Extend your right arm forward, left leg back, just as we did before. Now, we're going to send the right arm out to the right, palm face down, and your left leg is going to kick out towards the left toes, facing the upper edge of your mat. Keep reaching. This is really awkward, and I know it, but we're getting into the inner left hip. So keep flexing and reaching, and your exhale brings you back to center, and you lower both your hand and your arm back down. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Reach your left arm up, your right leg up. Listen closely. Your left arm goes out to the left, and your right leg reaches out to the right, flexing your toes towards your face. And there's a kitten. Hello. Good. Keep reaching. And exhale, return to center, reaching forward. And lower your hands, lower your knees. Take a round of cat-cow, inhaling up. Exhaling down. Pet the kitten. Everyone tuck your toes under. Spread your fingers wide. Draw your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Hover your knees. Send your hips up and back behind you, lowering your heels down, finding yourself in your downward facing dog. You can step your feet out so that they're as wide as your hips. Spread your fingers wide and begin to bend into one of your knees and then the other. Pressing your heels down, pressing into the mat, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. On each exhale, your heels press closer to the mat. Turn your armpits to face the front of your mat so they go in and under, pressing forward. Take an in breath and an out breath. Then begin to walk your feet forward, looking forward to the front of your mat, and we'll meet in a forward fold. So when you're down in your forward fold, the main things you want to think about are protecting your knees, number one. So go ahead and take a gentle bend to your knees, and then drop all of your weight back into your heels. And rather than looking at the floor in front of you, drop your head and look behind you so that you actually create more space between each one of your vertebrae. Now draw your low belly up and in and see if you can find even more length, allowing your head to be super heavy. Good. Now take your hands to your shins, fingers pointing down just beneath your knees. On an inhalation, send the crown of your head forward and press your chest forward, looking down at the floor in front of you. So your chin tucks so that there's a natural elongation of the back of your neck. On your out breath, again, fold forward, sending your gaze behind you. Again, take your hands to your shins. Inhale to rise up to what we're going to call flat back. So draw your shoulders away from your ears and exhale to fold. Now listen closely, take a gentle bend in your knees and reach your arms out. And as you turn your palms up, look forward and swan dive up to the top. So you're opening your chest and reaching your arms all the way up, and maybe they touch at the top. And then your exhale is going to lead you back into your forward fold. So you're flying down with your chest open and your fingertips brush the mat or your shins. On your inhalation, again, rise up to your flat back. Exhale to fold. And then listen closely. On your inhale, once more, rise up to your flat back. Take a gentle bend to your knees and press all the way back into your heels. Now extend your right arm up next to your ear and your left arm up next to your ear. Oh boy. So I want you to again find all of those muscles around your belly button and hug them up and in. Roll your shoulders down your back. So it's as if someone is pulling you forward by your fingertips and you really, really don't want to go. So you're dropping all of your weight into your heels and resisting, creating more space in your sides. Maybe reach one arm forward and then the other. We're waking up the muscles in the back and the core. On your exhale, fold. release. Good job. Again, inhale, send your arms out and up and reach all the way up to the top. Maybe palms touch. And exhale, swan dive forward. Good. Once more, inhale, rise up to your flat back, extended spine. Exhale to fold. Now bend into your knees and frame your feet with your hands. Step one foot back and then the other into plank or the top of a push-up. So we're on the balls of our feet and we're pressing our heels back. Squeeze your thighs together really tight and make your fingers wide. Take your gaze to the front edge of your mat and then see if you can pull your shoulders away from your ears as if you're squeezing them together. Good. Go ahead and drop your knees. Untuck your toes. Now, instead of just plopping down, begin to press your chest forward as you hug your elbows into your ribs and using your core, lower yourself forward and down. Good. So here, point your toes back behind you and press the tops of your feet down into the mat. Keep your elbows pointing up and your fingers spread wide. Squeeze your legs together, lift up your kneecaps. On your inhalation, squeeze your shoulder blades together as you send your chest forward and up. Inhale. And exhale to lower. One more time, send your breath forward and up with your chest. Inhale up. Exhale to lower. And this time we're gonna do a little challenge. So inhale, send your breath and your chest up. And then hover your hands above the mat. And we're going to hold here for a few breaths, feeling the upper and lower parts of your belly pressing into the mat, making you rise and fall. So a gentle pulse. Go ahead, lower your hands back down. Everybody tuck your toes under, press into the mat, and send your hips up and back behind you. Everybody as in you and me. Keep pressing your hips back and take a breath in your downward facing dog. So again, I want you to remember your intention. And you know, my thing is having complete freedom in who you are. And I'm kind of a rebel. So I want to invite you guys to tell me if you could do anything in the world with no restriction, what would it be? Would you dye your hair a crazy color, get a piercing or a tattoo? Would you go travel the world? What would you do if you could do anything with your life with nobody telling you not to? Good. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Stick your tongue out and breathe out through your mouth. One more time. Breathe in through your nose. Stick your tongue out, breathe out through your mouth. Bend your knees and take your gaze forward. So this is gonna be a little tough and we're gonna get there, but sink into your knees, take a breath, and on your exhale, jump your feet up to your hands. So when you get this, let me know in a comment, okay? Because it's really tough. So again, send your hips up, lower your head down, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to your flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale to swan dive all the way up to the top, reaching back, and exhale to fold. Once more, plant your hands, bend in your knees, step one foot back and then the other, and look, we're back in plank, top of a push-up. So I'm gonna offer you a bonus challenge. So you can drop your knees and be here if this is where you're at. But if you'd like more, begin to bend in your elbows and press your body forward and begin to lower halfway down. When you get halfway, untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down into the mat, squeeze your thighs, straighten your arms and open your chest, rolling your shoulders down your back. And this is called upward facing dog. So this is the strengthening pose of what we just did that's called a vinyasa. So you can do baby cobra or upward facing dog anytime in the practice. So tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. So on each exhale, press your hips back and press your heels down. As a matter of fact, on your next inhale, roll up onto the balls of your feet, sending your heels up and stretch your toes, squeeze your thighs. On your exhale, press your heels down and back. One more time, inhale, raise your heels, open your chest up towards your thighs, even look back behind you, and exhale to lower them down. And now we're going to begin our flow sequence. So on your inhalation, extend your left leg up and back behind you. Lower your left hip so that it stays square with your right and flex your toes towards your knee. So your foot and your leg might lower, and that's okay. But now we're going to stack the hips, so stack left on top of right and make a scorpion tail with your left leg, allowing your foot to be heavy. So what happens is the left shoulder tends to lift up, so see if you can keep that squaring off. Allow your hip to open even more. Press your chest back. Now I'm going to challenge you here. Take a breath. On your exhalation, carry your left knee towards your left elbow. So you're going to roll your shoulders over your wrist, press up onto your right toes, and send your left foot up. On your exhale, curl your knee in and touch your nose with your knee. Inhale, send your left leg up. And exhale, listen closely, twist over to the right and take your left knee to your right elbow. That's tough. Let me know when you get it. Send your left leg up. Now, one more time on the exhale, carry your knee to your nose. This time, press your upper body forward, and then as gently as you can, step your foot through in between your hands. Now prep yourself. Raise your lower body up off your thigh, rolling your shoulders down your back so you're hovering above your knee. Inhale your arms up next to your ears, and then raise yourself up to your high lunge. Turn your pinkies in so that your shoulders roll down your back, open up your chest. Sink 1 inch deeper into your front thigh. Take a deep breath, settle your breath. Good. Pivot your back heel down, and on your exhale, open up Warrior Two. So in Warrior Two, there's a couple of key elements. Number 1, look down at your left knee. Sink deeper into your left knee so that it sits over your ankle, and keep opening your knee up towards your left pinky toe. Press into the mat with the razor edge of your back foot, toes turning slightly in. And then kick your right hip back and in so that you sink deeper into your left hip. Keep reaching your arms out. Take a breath. It's on fire, I know. Lower your right arm down, reach your left arm up and over your ear, spiraling your rib cage open. Hey, look up. On your exhale, send your hand forward. Now listen closely. Lower your left hand to the inside of your left leg and press your arm against your left leg. Reach your right arm up and open your chest. Look up towards your right hand. Now instead of letting your hand fall back, see if you can press it forward. So you're reaching up and pressing forward as if you're pressing it against a wall. Keep rolling your shoulders down your ears. This is tough and I know it, but you can do this. Listen closely. Lower your right hand down to your left, pivot your back heel up, and heel toe your left foot over to the left side of the mat. You did it, good job. So now we're in lizard pose. So we're up in lizard. Lower your right knee down and untuck your toes. If you'd like more strength, you can keep your back knee lifted. But for now, let's all hug our left knee into the left shoulder. And you can stay up here if you're already feeling this in your left hip, or you have the option to lower down onto your forearms. You can go ahead and round your spine for a moment, but ultimately focus on opening your chest and reaching forward. Take a few breaths. I want you to find the tightest space in your left hip and take your in-breath directly there on the next round. So think of dissolving concrete spaces. This is what we're doing with the breath. Good. One more. Beautiful. Begin to walk your hands up, straightening your arm, and heel toe your left foot so that it's between your hands. Listen closely. Reach your left hip back. You can heel toe your left foot forward and flex your left toes towards your face. Walk your hands back. Focus on taking your right hip forward and pulling your left hip back. Take a moment to find a straight spine. And then on your exhale, fold from your belly up over your left leg. You can round your spine and allow your head to hang. I challenge you to make contact with something. So see if you can touch your nose to your knee or even your forehead to your knee. Or even walk your hands further forward and draw your shoulders back and keep pulling your left hip back. With each breath, send the breath into your upper back body. Find length in your spine. Flex your toes. Keep sending your right hip forward, left hip back. And begin to bend into your left knee, walking your hands forward in front of you. Tuck your toes under. Lift your back knee up. Now come back to your intention. Reassess your strength. Tell yourself, I can. And then raise yourself back up to your high lunge. Good. Take a breath. Exhale, open up warrior two. Pivot your back heel down. Take a moment to check in with your alignment. It's very important. Now listen closely. Take your hands to your hips. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes forward towards the front of the mat. Send your hips back and begin to bow forward. Drop your hands down to the mat. Turn your toes slightly in towards one another and let your head hang. You can sway side to side for a moment, finding a nice stretch in your wide-legged forward fold. With each breath, invite a feeling of surrendering your head down. So our body has a natural tendency to coil up and be tight. So if we can focus the breath on release, you'll find that slowly over time you'll become more relaxed. And you can use this if you find yourself in states of hypertension often. The breath is a very powerful tool. Place your right hand down in front of your face and rise up to a flat back. Send your left arm up towards the ceiling and look up. Take your left hand to your low back. Peel your left shoulder open and look up even more, sinking your hips back. You can stay here or reach your left arm up. Keep finding more space in your spine as if someone's pulling you by the ears. Keep reaching up. And then exhale, lower your left arm down and plant that hand in front of your face. Peel your right arm up and reach it up towards the ceiling, moving gracefully. Lower your right hand to your low back. Peel your right shoulder open. And you have the option to raise your right arm up and send your weight back into your heels. Keep reaching up. Exhale, lower your right hand down. So the next move is going to get pretty tricky. So open up your ears, pay attention. Turn your right toes out to the back of the mat and begin to bend into your right knee as you walk your hands towards your right foot, staying on the edge of the mat. Lift your left toes up so that your weight goes onto your heel and begin to pivot your left hip down. So you find yourself in half a squat. Reach your right arm across, pressing your right knee open, making contact with the ground, and reach your left arm up. So, I do this pretty gracefully because I've been doing it for a very long time. You might be something like this, like what the heck is happening here? This is okay. So what you want to focus on is pressing out through your heel and allowing your hip to drop down. And then your foot can be in right here with your heel lifted. This is okay. You can be here as long as your right arm is extending out. We're focusing on opening the inner thigh of both legs. So keep reaching your left arm up. And then lower your left arm down and begin to walk your hands back to center. So you're moving through what's called a horse stance, and you were just going to walk all the way to the other side, pivoting your right heel up, finding yourself in a very low lunge. From here, plant your hands, step your left foot back to meet your right. You can hold high plank or low plank. And then on your exhale breath, move through your version of your vinyasa. So that's baby cobra or upward facing dog. Tuck your toes under and we'll all meet in downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is often used as a resting pose, and you could be thinking, are you effing kidding me right now? Because it's really hard and I know it. But see if you can calm down your mind and calm down your breath and somehow position yourself to where you find a sense of ease. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slow and steady in breath. Exhale, heels down out through your mouth. Good. Extend your right leg up and back behind you, flexing your toes towards your knee. Now stack your right hip on top of your left, allowing your right foot to hang behind you so you're making a sort of scorpion tail. Square your right shoulder off towards the back of the mat, and you'll get this over time. It just takes practice. So keep allowing your right hip to stack. Now extra challenge. On your exhale, carry your right knee forward to your right elbow. So you're gonna have to really use your core here. Take a breath and exhale, send your right leg back. Inhale, leg up. And your exhale carries your knee to your nose. Squeeze your core. Inhale, your right leg back. And exhale, cross over to your left elbow. You've got this. And exhale, send your right leg back. And your next exhalation carries your knee to your nose, planting your foot in between your hands or stepping it forward, lifting up your hand and placing your hand back down. So heel toe your left foot back and sink your right knee so that it's over your ankle. On your inhale, rise all the way up to your high lunge. Pinkies in to roll your shoulders down your back and to come back to a calm state of mind. Breathe in and breathe out, slowing everything down. On your exhale, pivot your back heel down, open up warrior two. Press into the back edge of the mat with your left foot and keep opening your right knee towards your right pinky toe. Lower your left arm down and reach your right arm up, opening up towards the ceiling. Sink deeper into your front thigh. And your exhale, windmills your arms all the way to the front. So your right hand goes in front of your right thigh, pressing your knee open. Look up, peel your left shoulder open, drawing your shoulder away from your ears. Keep reaching up, pressing your hips forward. Take a breath. And on your exhale, lower your left hand down to your right. Pivot your back heel up and heel toe your right leg over to the right edge of the mat, walking your hands in. Lower your back knee down. And once you're here, take a breath. Keep pressing your knee into your shoulder. So you might be here and you're already feeling it. And that's okay. Over time, you'll be able to go lower and lower, but you have to keep coming back. So if you like more, lower down onto your forearms and keep squeezing your right knee in. So the knee will want to fall out, and this feels really nice. And you know what? If that's what you're wanting today, go for it. But ultimately, so that we can keep opening the inner thighs, we want to keep the right knee pressing in. And this is also engaging your core, so you're getting ab work in here too. Take a few breaths, allowing your psoas to sink deeper. So release the inner half of your back thigh and notice that you can relax deeper into your lizard pose. Keep reaching the crown of your head forward. On your exhale, surrender something and allow yourself to sink deeper. Walk yourself back up to your hands. If your back knee is lifted, drop it down and begin to heel toe your right foot to the center of your hands. Drag your right hip back as you extend your right foot forward, flexing your toes, and fold over your right leg. Keep pulling your left hip forward, right hip back, so that your hips will stay square. The natural tendency is that the hips will pull over to the right, but this isn't doing much for you. So if you pull your right hip back, you'll notice that the stretch transitions to the bottom and the outside of the thigh. This is where we want it. So an in-breath lifts you up, opening your chest, extending your spine, and your out-breath folds you over. You can round in your spine, squeeze your core even to bring your nose to your knees. Again, using our poses to initiate core work for ourselves. Our center of confidence. Keep flexing your toes, pulling right hip back. Good. Now look forward, walk your hands forward, re-bend into your front knee. Tuck your back toes under. Gather your strength and inhale to rise up, high lunge. Take a breath. And exhale, open, warrior two. Good. So pivot your right hand forward, right arm down. Lift your left hand up, reaching up. And then lift back up to your warrior two. Take your hands to your hips. Turn your toes towards the outer edge of the mat. Hips back and fold forward. Hello. So you can walk your hands back behind you and bend in your knees. And keep dropping your weight forward. And you know what? Maybe one day your head will touch the floor. And then beyond that, maybe your feet will lift up. Oh my God, right? Not today, but one day, right? That's why we practice. This is to motivate you. So keep dropping your weight back into your heels. Keep allowing your head to be heavy. If you'd like to try that tripod, spread your fingers wide and press your weight forward. Lift your heels up, and then eventually you'll learn to roll the weight up your spine. Inhale, rise up to your flat back. Exhale to fold. Good. Now listen very closely. Rising up to your flat back, begin to walk your hands over to the left, sending your left toes out. Sinking into your left hip, lift your right heel up, pointing your toes up. So you can drag your right hip back and be up on your heel. Place your left arm to the inside of your left leg and peel your right arm up. Keep sinking your right hip lower. Get your hair out of your face. Reach your right arm up. Take a breath, open your chest. Let your right arm fall back. And then let your arm come back down. And begin to walk yourself all the way forward to the front of your mat, lifting your back heel up, finding yourself in your low lunge. Step your right foot back to meet your left, high plank, low plank, vinyasa, baby cobra, or upward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, raise yourself back up to downward facing dog, and we'll take a breath. So that was pretty tough, right? And I know it. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to stop here and to keep coming back until you can really get the benefits of that beginning part of the flow without feeling exhausted. So you can go ahead and skip forward to the part where there's the rest and restoration phase, the nice twists and shavasana, or you can keep going to this next challenge. So extend your left leg up and back and stack your left hip open just like we did before. Take a breath. On your exhale, step your left foot through in between your hands, and your inhale raises you up. Your exhale opens you up, warrior two. Now, as if someone's pulling your left hand forward, send your upper body forward and lower your left hand down, raising your right arm up. Look up. Extend your right arm up over your ear, and then for an added challenge, this is tough, but I dare you. Lift your left arm up and hover your torso up above your left thigh. Whoa. Keep reaching, keep opening. I'm sweating. Are you? Open, breathe, use your core. It's like you're holding this big old ball and you just want to keep this big old annoying beach ball up in the air. And exhale, release. Lower your right arm down and walk yourself back towards the middle of your mat. So you find yourself in your forward fold, releasing the fire of that left leg. So heel toe your feet close enough in so that you can turn your toes out and sink your knees so that they're directly over your ankles. So take your palms to your knees and then open your shoulders and press them apart. So you'll open up your chest. Good. So listen closely. Dip your right shoulder down and look up to the left, opening your right knee. That's nice. Raise back up and dip your left shoulder down, looking up to the right. And one more time, finding a nice stretch. Distracting our mind as our thighs are on fire with the beautiful stretch going on in the upper body. And raise back up to center. So I know that your thighs are burning, but we're gonna keep going because you can do it. So take your hands to your heart center. I know you want to come out of it, but don't. Take one more breath. Find your center. Reach your arms up. Cactus arms. Pull them down. Take that fire. Open up your arms. Take your hands to your hips. Straighten your legs. Sweet relief. Turn your toes forward and fold forward. You did it. Take a breath. Turn your left toes towards the upper hand corner of the mat or the upper edge of the mat. Walk your hands to frame your front foot. Pick your heel, your back heel up. Now listen closely. Step your back foot up to meet the front and take a forward fold. Heel toe your feet out to the wide edges of your mat. Turn your toes out, knees out, and then sink your hips low. So we're in a low goddess squat. Take your hands to your heart center and press your chest up into your hands. And see if you can press your elbows into your knees, pressing forward. Tuck your chin. Take a few breaths. This sounds crazy, but I promise you that if you smile, this is a lot easier. I don't know why, but it really helps. Most things are more fun if you turn them into something silly. One more breath. Lower your hands down. Lift your hips up. Turn your toes in. Release. Take hold of either elbow and sway side to side. We just have to do the other side, and then we're moving on to some sweeter places. Good. Walk your feet back in together. Now listen closely. Turn your toes in, heels out, sink back into your hips. Reach your arms up next to your ears. Open your chest up, sink your hips low. So point your tailbone down, and then open your chest so you're creating like this S shape. The zigzag S shape with your spine. Pinkies turn in, shoulders roll down your back. Engage your core. Exhale, sink low. And exhale, release. Good job. All right, so we're gonna keep flowing. Step one foot back, and then the other. You are strong. Lower yourself down. Raise up baby cobra or upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, hips up and back. Downward facing dog for the second side. Extend your right leg up and back. Stack your hip. And exhale, step your foot through in between your hands. Inhale, rise up to your high lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Yeah, it's getting tough, right? Sink deeper into that front thigh and lower your right hand down. Reach your left arm up. Bonus challenge. Raise your right arm up as if you're holding that big annoying beach ball. Spiral your rib cage up. Take a breath. Scream. Do whatever you gotta do. Keep holding your core. And exhale, lower your right hand down. Left hand down. Toes turn in. And walk yourself to the center of your mat. Forward fold. Good. So we have one more crazy thigh toner and we're done. So not only is this building a muscle in your body and burning away fat, but it's also teaching you focus. So take your knees over your ankles and raise yourself up. Take your hands to your heart center. Open your chest. Think of your intention. Think of all the power that you have stored inside of you. You can use it right here. You are so strong. Sink deeper. Take a breath. Focus your mind. And exhale, release, fold forward, toes in. Beautiful job. Just make your way to the front of your mat, turning your right toes forward, back heels up. And then step your left foot forward to meet your right, forward fold. And one more time in goddess squat. Heel toe your feet out, toes out, knees out. Sink your hips low. Raise your arms out in front of you to sink your hips even lower. Take your hands to your heart center. Open your chest in this glorious moment. Keep pressing your knees open. Think of something that you are incredibly grateful for and do this for that because you are thankful. Open up and release. Toes in, hips up. Heel toe your feet back together. Take your hands to your shins and heel rise up flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale to swan dive all the way up to the top. Look up, reach up. Hands to heart center and fold forward. Plant your hands to either side of your feet. This time, lower your hips down and just come to a seat. You're done with the hard stuff. Good job. Take a moment to settle your breath and be proud of yourself for what you just accomplished. If you did the whole thing all the way through, I give you super mad kudos coming at you from C Dizzy. So now, what we're gonna do is begin to relax and release the good juicy part. So bring your legs to cross. And then you know what? We're just gonna carry our hands in front of us and walk forward. I'm gonna scoot back a little bit for personal reasons. But I'm just gonna keep extending my arms forward and you do the same. Walk your hands forward and allow your head to hang down. And take a breath. Take a few breaths to begin to settle into this quiet, more still space where we'll begin a sort of moving meditation stretch. So allow your calm mind to come into play. Relax your back and your hands. Reach your fingertips forward and make them very, very heavy. Make your head heavy. Find your tailbone and moving from bottom to top, drag your fingers up, rolling all the way up to the top. Your shoulders roll down your back. Look up. Release. Take your hands back out in front of you and roll onto your knees, moving back to your tabletop. Extend your right toes back behind you and carry your right knee to your right elbow and pivot your left toes in towards your left wrist, lowering your right knee down. So we're right here. Look back towards your left toes and begin to heel toe your left leg back. So you might find that you're stuck up here, and this is because you have really tight hamstrings and hips. And so over time, this stretch will help you open these areas. So if you're here, stuff a blanket, a block underneath your right hip, or keep heel toeing your left foot back, lowering your right hip closer and closer to your mat by drawing your right knee forward. So you can heel toe your foot up if you'd like more of an opening as well, but make sure that your left hip keeps rolling towards the mat. So open your chest and then begin to walk your hands forward, keeping a long spine, allowing your upper body to, in a sense, surrender down towards the floor. So you almost want the weight of your upper body pressing down against your right thigh so that you can get more opening. You can stay up here. If you're up here, round your head and close your eyes. If you're down here, bring your forehead to the mat and then drag your left hip forward. Send your breath into your back body, so the space between your shoulder blades. And relax your shoulder blades, relax your shoulders. Lick your teeth to relax your jaw. Now, when that moment comes that you just want to rise up out of this, you cannot take it any longer, I challenge you to take 2 more breaths and just see what happens. Good. Begin to walk your hands back in. Tuck your back toes under and rise back up onto your left knee. You can shake out your right leg. Good. Meet back in tabletop. Extend your left leg back and carry your left knee to your left elbow and pivot your left ankle to right shin. Look back behind you and heel toe your right leg back, untucking your toes, pointing your toes straight back. turning your torso back to the front and pulling your right hip forward. Good. So flex your toes to protect your knee, unless your heel is in towards your groin. Then you can point your toes. Otherwise, flex your toes and stay up, relaxing your head and your shoulders. Keep pulling your left hip back, right hip forward, or move down to your forearms, allowing your head to hang. Or for an added challenge, reach your arms all the way forward and drop your forehead to the mat. Find the tightest space that you can, and I invite you to send your breath directly to that space. Soften your eyes and soften your jaw. See if you can make this a sort of meditation, not allowing distraction to win over your intention. Two breaths past the point that you want to rise up. Soften something, whether it's your hands, your shoulders, your hips. Choose one thing and completely surrender it. Fill up your lungs. Begin to walk your hands back up. Good. Tuck your back toes under, raise onto your right knee, and send your left foot back to shake it out. And then just sit over to your left and send your feet out in front of you. Go ahead and shake out your legs, flex your toes towards your face. Take your fingers and point them in towards your hips. Now we're just gonna do one last thing to really get the body able to fully relax. So pointing your fingers in towards your hips, point your elbows straight back to where you can roll your shoulders down your back and lay your palms flat to the floor. Now point your toes out in front of you and make your legs very strong. Keep opening your chest. Take an in breath. On your out breath, straighten your arms and then send your hips up. So engage your core. Open up your chest. Even look up or drop your head back. This isn't for everybody, so if you feel crunching in your neck, tuck your chin. Look forward. Press your hips up a little more. So we're tightening every muscle in the body right now. Keep going. And exhale, release. Uncurl your toes. Release your hands. Shake out your feet and your arms. And come to lying on your back. Allow your shoulders to relax, palms to face up, knees and feet splay out naturally. Tuck your chin to elongate the back of your skull. Allow your breath to calm down. Sending your breath into your lungs. Full breath. Fill up your chest, your belly. We're going to take one last breath in. And exhale, tongue out. You're done. Stay here as long as you want to. As long as you need to. Shavasana is the most important pose because it allows the body to acclimate all that just happened to it. Take your time. You did a wonderful job. So when you are ready to come out of your Shavasana, take yourself to a fetal position on your right hand side with your arm crooked under your ear. Raise your knees up to your chest and first take a moment. This is taking pressure off of the heart, allowing blood to circulate more freely in the body. Press your left hand down in front of your face and begin to press yourself up. So you want to roll from bottom to top. Your shoulders and your head stay very heavy. Rolling all the way up to a seat. You can take your lotus for meditation. Take a breath. Fill up your lungs, your chest, and take a moment to observe the body. Notice the changes. Take a moment to thank yourself for what you just did. You did that. You should be really proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. The more you come back to the practice, the stronger you become and the more you can do. And I assure you, this is a guarantee. Thank you for showing up. My name is Cindy. Like this video, come back to it and see how far you get next time. I bet you one day you'll be able to get all the way through it, no problem. Even with the tripod headstand, it'll happen. Namaste, highest and brightest.